camera alive.
Absolutely incredible.
Thank you. It took several tries with Dolly to get a good image for the AI art of the Trailer Park Symposium.
Amazing.
Thank you. I love it. I'm just like every time I get to play, I get 4 more uses out of this. I'm going to enjoy every second. It's yeah. So nothing really big tonight. Kobe is he's free. I was free. I have nothing else to do, and so we figured let's do a podcast and play some chess and talk theology, philosophy, politics, and maybe get some Q&A from the audience. So if anybody's listening, want to ask a question, just shoot into the chat. We have no listeners right now, so say whatever you want to say about them.
Say whatever I want to say about the listeners that aren't here.
Oh yeah, make fun of all of them. Because when people come back in a day and we listen to the stream, they can be made fun of.
I don't like to name names, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh yeah.
What on earth is Bulge doing and Kato? It's not like they have lives. Jay is probably being arrested somewhere or cooking meat. One of the two. I mean, they need to get their acts together. And what's more riveting than watching me and you play chess? You know what's more riveting than that? Listening to us play chess in this being podcast form.
Mm-hmm. I even think about that when I upload this as an audio podcast. It's gonna be just like, oh, you won. And I was like, what was the move?
It's okay. It won't be impressive.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and just send me. How do you bring up the game we've been playing?
Okay. Scroll down. Click on that. There it is.
I see it. Daily games. Okay. Yeah. There we go. I want to point out Kobe started with less pieces than I did, and he's still winning. And it's
I started with a no. You're winning still. I started with a knight. All my pawns, a knight and a bishop. I'm just gonna take that away. But you're still winning. You have, let's see, 2 knights, 2 pawns, and a rook. I have 3 pawns and 1 knight.
I just realized based on that last movement, so I wanted to get my rook here before I did it, but I forgot that when I came back from my sour to play the next move.
That's going to be my saving grace, or that's been my saving grace for this move, is I was like, Caleb completely forgot he was attacking that piece.
I completely forgot about it. I am my biggest thing with this, I always forget the horse's movements. I'm very bad at calculating where the horse can actually go. Like, see, when you click your own piece, you can kind of see where they can go. And I wish I could click the other person's piece and see where they could go. Because of memory, I'm like, what's one? I have to, like, every time I go horse and go 1, 2, 3, it's carried out. Okay, my move.
Yeah, you know that made it super hard when I was playing. I tried to sign up for a tournament, but when you play a tournament, you play over the board in real life. And I was looking at a 3D board, and I was like, this is not the same game that I've been playing. I did terribly. Here, go to your settings down in the bottom right, or actually on the top, not those settings, the ones on the game.
Oh, okay.
Next to where it says 3 days.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Click that, and then click play, and then scroll down a little bit. Automatically watch. There's one that says it won't take you to the next game. Scroll back up. Let's see. Live, maybe. Oh, there we go. Auto switch games, offline challenges. Scroll down. Oh no, you have it off. Okay, never mind. Just kidding. I thought it clicked out of your game last time.
It did, but for some reason it keeps doing that.
Well, when we play a timed game, it'll fix that here in a second.
Okay, good.
So what's your discernment process? What are you doing right now?
Well, what I'm trying to do is I try to do the rosary in the morning,
Okay.
and I try to do when I get home the divine mustard tablet, and then the priest, Father Zoss, recommended what I do is I do an hour where I read the Bible for like 30 minutes, and I spend 30 minutes just kind of meditating and praying on what I read. I have a prayer journal where I write down anything God. If there's anything God spoke to me while I was reading that, write it down. He said most of the time I'm just gonna write the date and nothing. But every once in a while, you're going to get something, and that's what you want to bring to your priest when you do spiritual to your spiritual director.
Nice.
And so that's what I've been trying. I've only got like one day in it. Work has been we got a really big job, and the boss said everybody mandatory Fridays and Saturdays. But not too big a deal because I'm going to Rome in August, and so
Oh my gosh! Like Father Josh set that up.
no. My friend Jacob, not Jacob. I still haven't said his name. Shit. My friend who lives in Florida, is going to Ward You Stay, and afterwards, him and some friends of his are going to go across Europe, and he invited me to join them for Spain, for Barcelona, Rome, Florence, Siena, Assisi.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a fun trip. I've never been to Europe. Never left America, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Assisi is one of my favorite places in the world. You're in Czech. You can't move anything.
I'm in Czech. Oh damn! I didn't even notice that.
I'll take that. Thank you very much. Assisi is going to make you want to quit everything, become a Franciscan friar, and just live on the hillside.
That does sound nice.
There's some nuns there that run a perpetual adoration chapel. They've had it running since for 200 years or something like that. Probably longer, but it's incredible. Rome's cool too, but there's almost too much in Rome that you can't take it in as well. Why does he keep doing that?
I don't know.
So is Rome part of that trip?
Yep.
Okay, good.
One of the guys there has a friend who's a priest, and he's studying at the Vatican.
Nice.
And so he's thinking we might be the guy's offered if it works out, he might be able to give us a private tour of the Vatican.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, when they mentioned that, I'm like, I feel like if I say I can't go, I'm sitting somehow. And so I kind of have to go now.
I think it's one of those things that it's almost like it's good to make that pilgrimage.
Yeah.
I guess would be the best way. If you're Catholic, that's a cool not because of necessarily it is cool because you're in the home of the center of our church, but there's just so many relics and just stuff there that you're like, Jesus definitely touched this. The great saints touched this.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to go to Florence specifically. And that's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel like you're baiting me with that horse, but I'm gonna take it anyway.
Take it.
Take it anyway, and just hope I can adapt to whatever's running me next.
I just recently started journaling, prayer journaling, and it has my intention was, I'm glad you said some days you're going to write the date and that's going to be it, because there's days I'm like, God's not speaking to me at all through these scriptures, and I feel like I'm doing a bad job. Like I should be doing better as far as listening, but sometimes it's just not there.
Yeah, it's that's something I've been thinking about. It's kind of just it's rare when it does happen, but when it does happen, it's fantastic. But just even though it's nothing, it's still kind of a nice ritual in the openness, of it all. What's kind of just like, no, I'm doing this, and I'm thinking on face that eventually something will happen that's awesome. And even if it's not awesome, I'm still reading the Bible, so that's awesome in itself.
Yeah, and something might hit you later down the road.
Yeah.
it's you almost forced us into stalemate, and I would have been upset.
Yeah, I'm not Bowles, who apparently got frustrated with chess last time we played and forced a tie.
Yeah, well, forcing a tie probably would have been good for you there, but
Probably would have been, but I'd rather just lose than. Oh, I didn't even see it. I didn't even see that coming. Now you have to move him and king. Oh, damn it! Oh well,
it's over.
It's over. Anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to. Once I end the podcast, I'll be able to, like, I do a lot of a lot of reading, but I do a lot of reading for the podcasts, and so I'm looking forward to being able to read things. Like I have Bonaventure's Life of Christ on myself, and like I'm not going to do a book club on that. I'm not going to do, a podcast on it or write anything on it, but I still want to read it, and so I'll be able to read things that are actually of my interest, not just like, oh, I got an episode plan for that one.
The hardest thing, and it's a pure me needing more humility in my life, but with the journal is going like every time to myself, this is for you. This is not for anybody to rummage through and then eventually be like, Colby, one of the great saints of our period, said this profound thing when he was 28 years old. That's just not how that's going to work. So I've been trying my best. I printed out the Litany of Humility, and it's difficult to pray that thing for me.
Never heard of that one. I'll have to look that up. That could be a fun question. What are your favorite prayers in the church? Like, what's I know they're all great, but like, what's the specific one that you're just like, that's a good one?
I love the, as far as, are you saying like just short prayers that are one prayer and then you're done, or more devotions? What are you thinking?
Either kind, just any kind.
The thing I love doing most is Liturgy of the Hours. That is my that is something that I just absolutely adore doing, because it forces me to read the Bible, but it also forces me to pray the Psalms, which don't necessarily have like knowledge to be gained. It is purely a prayer. You can extrapolate some stuff from it, but it is purely meant to praise God, and that's pretty cool. And that's something I have a hard time, because I'm always looking for, hey, what's this profound thing that I could learn from X, Y, or Z. So I do love that. As far as short prayers, I love the St. Michael prayer, partly because St. Michael is the patron of the Mitchells. It used to be, oh Michael, and then it, of Michael, oh Michael, oh Michael Mitchell when you got to Ellis Island, and that was that. So I do love that one too, because it reminds me there's a battle all around us that we can't see right now that's for our souls. So that's good. I prayed the rosary a lot last year. My wife had us praying it every single day, and for me, I had a lot of peace with it, but I don't like praying it as much anymore, because it's just so much me going through the motions and not actually like it's checking a box rather than actually praying.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the Hollow apps, like keeping track of your streaks, because then it becomes, I'm just trying to keep the streak up and actually do it.
Yeah.
Like I get the purpose of it, and it's every once in a while, like it's good. Like the first few days when it's like, hey, you played tonight, you keep your streak. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't played yet. But then after like the third day of that, I'm just like, am I doing this for the right reasons?
Yeah. Which if you're praying because even though you don't want to, because it's what you should do and that God wants you to do, that's good. If you're praying for your own glory of hitting the streak, that.
Yeah.
That's
My
where you
favorite,
screw up.
my favorite prayer is the Glory Be.
Oh, really?
I love it. It's like I don't know why exactly, but I just think it's like it's simple but really beautiful. I love it.
You know, the nice thing about that is that it's another one of those that's purely there to praise God and to say, God, you are amazing, you're incredible, and don't worry about what we want. Your will be done. Make it happen. Everything, we don't matter, and you do, and that's a nice thing about the Glory Be.
It's great. It's one thing I've been doing a lot is I've been really trying to pay attention to focus on reading different saints. Like I've been doing a lot of autobiographies of saints, which has been really really nice because I always knew Saint Francis was awesome, but every time I learn a new fact about him, it's like really wow. There's actually some Franciscans coming to my parish Saturday to do a mass.
Nice.
And they're going to be in the little rectory afterwards answering questions and talking to people. And I'm like, that could be fun. I got to see if I can get up early enough Saturday to go to that.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to set up a game that is custom time. I think I can set this up where I have like 1 minute on the clock and you have an hour to make your move. Let's see. Custom. Standard.
Vodka Red Bull is just such a great drink.
Vodka Red Bull. I don't like Red Bull. I also don't like vodka.
Not a vodka man. I'm not a big vodka guy, but Tito's is. I don't know. If you give me like Smirnoff or any other kind of vodka, I'm like, I'm good. But you offer me Tito's, I'm like, okay. It's like specifically Tito's for some reason. But you put that with some Red Bull. Like I love Red Bull. I have a problem where I tried to give them up for Lent, and that was like the first thing to fail. I was like, I didn't get enough sleep. I only got like 3 hours, and I got to the gas station at work, and I'm like, out of the sugar-free alternative. Grabbed it and I drank it. And I grabbed it and I realized, oh yeah, there's a reason I was, doing the sugar-free ones. Not sugar-free Red Bulls, the sugar-free like energy drinks, like Ghost or whatever they're called. There are too many energy drinks nowadays. You got C4s, Ghost, Reigns, Bangs, Celsius. It's just used to be Red Bull and Monster and like a Nitro or something.
There's one called Liquid Death.
That sounds awesome.
It's like the tagline is "Murder Your Thirst."
Have you ever seen the video of the monster MILF Kristen lady?
Mm-mm.
Oh no! We'll have to react to this real quick. So
yeah, you do that while I'm getting this set up. I don't think I can give us different time controls, but
that's fine.
I'll give me less pieces again.
Don't do that. Give us a fair game. Fair game. I'm gonna lose.
The fair game. I will beat you in 12 moves, Caleb.
This once. I gotta save some face for the audience here.
All right.
Okay, here we go. I got it. Share screen. Okay. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll hit play on this because it's awesome.
All right, hit it.
M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can. But my interest is the word monster. What do you see in the O? There's a cross.
Okay.
What has Christ got to do with an energy drink, let alone the name Monster? So I thought, well, maybe this is a Christian company then. BFC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. Big can. In fact, they write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word.
Okay.
Now, do you know what a MILF is? That's on the box. MILFs dig it, and you will too. This is not a Christian company at all. So why would they have put a cross on the can? Here is the message. Antichrist. 666 in Hebrew. And then the Bible talks about the beast in Revelation. And look at Monster's ad. This is their statement. You see these M's everywhere. Hats, t-shirts, bumper stickers. Is there another agenda here? If God can use people and product, so can Satan. And look at it this way. Even if the M was not the issue, you cannot deny that that is a cross. And what is witchcraft? When the cross goes upside down, bottoms up, and the devil laughs.
I love her.
God bless Protestants.
I love her. She's
God
definitely a
bless
MILF.
Protestants. Oh gosh.
I mean, no matter how many times I watch it, the moment she goes, "Now, do you know what a MILF is?" I lose my composure. I don't care because I've seen it. I just it comes out of nowhere, and I love it. Honestly, I love the energy of like the clearly the kids have left Protestant mom.
Oh gosh.
Like that's the kind of energy that needs to be cultivated.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Okay, here we go.
All right, let's do this. Okay then. Talking to Grant yesterday about his chess playing. I finally said, Grant, are you enjoying yourself? Like, is this fun for you? And he said, no, I'm miserable. And I said, why are you playing chess then?
Grant.
Oh,
No, the moment after my third game of chess, when I re-downloaded the app, my immediate reaction was I went to TikTok and found chess drafts, and I downloaded a chess ebook and some chess audiobooks.
I tried chess audiobooks. It's kind of hard.
It is hard. I realized that pretty quickly.
Not a bad move.
I've been practicing all day.
Good for you.
Also, I got no work done today, and the boss was like, "Really, Caleb?"
I was able to get really good at chess because my job was getting very slow, and I was like, all right. I was playing. I don't know how many games I was playing.
Mm. I'm still not convinced how I still don't know how castling works.
Castling works if you haven't moved your king or the rook, or the rooks, but you have and they're not in check. So if there's something that's slicing the squares in which you were going to castle, you couldn't do it. So like right now, there's no squares that are being in check between the A file and the E file, and I have not moved my king from its original position or my rook, so I can move my king over 2 spaces and my rook on the other side up. How many moves have I made?
I don't know.
Oh, 14. This is trash. Ooh.
Like, I'm not great at chess, but I'm not the worst. You know. Wait a minute. What's the horse's moves again? Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna move there. Every once in a while, I remind myself like, yeah, the horse can do that.
So if you look on the side over there, this is a rated game. It will increase your rating.
Or
decrease
drop it, decrease it
But
most likely.
If you win, you get 100 points added to your rating. If we tie, you get 50 points added. But if you lose, you only lose 1, which means mine's flipped. I lose 101 points if you beat me.
Well, get ready to lose some points.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I didn't even notice it. Every time those horses always mess me up, man. I never follow them.
You got to get those horses off the board.
Mm-hmm. Let's sink.
Which you could have just taken it free with your bishop right there.
What's bishop?
Bishop on A3.
Oh, I didn't even notice the bishop. Damn it.
Oh. Caleb, you were a full-out convert, not a revert, right?
Yeah, I'm a convert. Yeah.
What'd you convert from?
Pentecostal Protestantism.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's quite the leap.
It was. It was quite shocking to most of the family.
I'm assuming you read your way into it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Started with I was called an atheist for saying evolution is not contrary to scripture. If you don't read it literally, and of course I think I was in like 6th grade youth group saying. And of course, I immediately was in the sauna at the gym. And I was on YouTube, like, reasons why this is true. And I found a Casey video from a Franciscan came up, and then I'm like, this guy's pretty cool. And then the possessive video was a Bishop Barron on Aquinas.
Nice.
From there, it was just kind of like rabbit holes.
You just jumped straight in.
Mm-hmm. Thinking. Okay.
Father Casey was the one who went to all the baseball parks, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He's interesting because he's not. He takes very when he's in line with doctrine. I think he's right, obviously, but he has a lot of views that are not like the nothing the church has spoken on. And I'm just like, you really think that?
Yeah.
You know,
he caught a lot of flack for the baseball thing, and I was just like, this is actually pretty cool that he's being out in the world.
Black one, second mate. Damn. Where did the hold on, hon. Can I go back? What's the back one? Yeah, here it is. Where did the king? Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, he pawned it. And you. Oh man, he would have gone with a pawn if I moved. Yeah.
All right,
good game.
We're doing a odds game now.
Okay, fine. I tried. I cost you. How many moves did it take you?
It took me 23 moves, so
okay.
Slight to my honor.
Okay, 22. That's not bad. I can live with that.
Here, you want me to present so you don't have the ads on the side of it?
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Stops.
Share screen. I want to share window. Okay.
Both might be hopping in any minute. He said about 30 minutes, so he might hop in.
Good deal. Okay, we are going to play a non-rated game. Where's my...
Funny, one thing I would say, when the moment I saw on the test, Magnus, how do you say his name? Magnus Carlson? How do you say his name? He popped up. I'm
Magnus
like,
Carlson.
this guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a very good at chess, but he's not a nerd, you know?
Yeah.
He's I saw a stream of his where he was like in the back party with friends and drinking, and a girl was playing on his account and about to lose, and he had like 8 seconds left on his clock, and he's like, "Get out of the way! Why drunkenly singing a song? He checked me with a pawn." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what he does.
It's insane. The people who are really good at chess are just like so it's odd to me. Like I'm amazed and impressed, but I'm like, wow. It's a very different kind of intelligence than most of what you kind of see, you know.
Oop. Hang on. I made it 3 minutes accidentally. I'm gonna abort this.
Fine.
You need more than 3 minutes. Settings. I get out of it. There we go.
Yeah, I ended up downloading Trent Horn's book, What We Believe. Something about this. It's kind of like basically it's a big book on like, you know, different defenses of Catholic doctrines from him. I'm like, okay, I'll listen to this book. If I can disagree with any of it rationally by the end of it, I won't convert to Protestantism, won't convert to Catholicism. And by like the fifth chapter, he got to sexual ethics, and I'm like, okay, here it is, because there's no good reason to be against contraception. And as he's going through, I'm just formalizing my arguments. And in his rebuttal section, he anticipated every single one of my arguments and beat me. I lost to a book.
That's awesome.
And I was like, sitting in the truck, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to convert.
For me, Protestantism is like you're looking at this beautiful magnolia tree. And if you're a Catholic, you see that whole tree and you know everything that's there. You could see the animals scurrying through it. But if you're a Protestant, you see one leaf. And rightfully so, you're looking at that leaf and you're going, this is the most beautiful leaf I've ever seen in my entire life. And I know everything about this leaf. It makes complete sense. This is perfect. And then you make inferences about, okay, what is beyond this leaf? Well, if this leaf is like this, then this must be what it's like outside this leaf. And as a Catholic, you're just like, no, it's more of these leaves. There's these pretty flowers, and they're like, you're going to hell. That's terrible takes you have there. Oh, that's a good move when I only have bishops. Let's do this. But you're so bad, you're like shaking them, or you're like, just take a step back and look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Sinking.
Specifically got my horsies out of there for you.
Thank you.
I'll take that. Oh, shoot, you can see my next move if I do that. I had the stream where it was like showing, all right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to move this here. Yeah, there's
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So, like, I love my Protestant friends and family. I think they're great people. It's only randomly with Lotus Singh, like they like. I've had my, you know, when I first got into it, I'm a very, I don't want to say argumentative, because I can let things slide sometimes, but a lot of times it's kind of just like, no, that's just blatantly false, and I'm not going to sit here and listen to that.
Yeah. I haven't gotten better at that part of it. You know, if you're going to deny truth, I'm going to speak up. But you have to pick your battles and how forceful you want to be. And what's helped a lot for me is, okay, I know it doesn't bother me anymore when people are completely wrong and obstinately wrong, because I think having kids helps with that, because I'm like, the only thing I care about now is whether or not I can get my kids to heaven. And your soul, I really wish you would, make it yourself, but I've got to worry about these two tiny beings making it themselves. So that's helped.
That's a good way of looking at it. Oh, you moved the.
Okay. Okay. But used to, I'd get so angry if somebody said something that was just blatantly false about the church. Like, I'd be upset by the Reddit atheists. I'm just like, y'all aren't even trying. And now that I recognize, oh, they really aren't even trying, that makes it, that helps, I guess, a little bit to be like, okay, they literally aren't even trying, and they don't want to try because they hate their dad.
I feel that. I'm less worried about talking to it. Like an atheist is like, nowadays when an atheist does bring up something, I'm not even like, I engage because it's frankly most of the time easy.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, oh, you think this is the case? Well, no. It's like a video I linked to the Discord where it's like, God is a contradiction because he's a being in reality. And it's like, God is existence itself. What does that even mean?
That made him so mad. I was just like,
it was hilarious.
Dude, you're so mad that somebody had an answer. That video was rough.
Yeah.
But it was at those points, I can't really engage with those people or argue with them because they don't care.
Yeah.
Like they want to argue for the sake of arguing to justify their terrible behaviors. Their arguments are typically, if God good, why I a piece of shit? That's what it boils down to. Like, if God was good, then I'd be a better person. You're like, well,
dang it. That's what I get.
All right, let me get one last piece.
Vince is gonna end with you having just a queen and a pawn and still winning.
Oh, you know what we're about to do? This is about to be great. You're gonna love this one. So if you're listening, I just beat Caleb with all my pawns and just 2 bishops. Custom odds. Here we go. We're going to set up a position. You're gonna love this one.
Yeah, like it's just when talking politics now, it's like the weirdest things that could set me off. Like I think it's say what they want to say. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to debate you on soteriology or the rapso. It's not. I don't care enough to engage you on that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because if you don't believe in God, then those things don't matter at all.
Yeah.
You have bigger problems with your soul.
Let me think.
Now, if you do believe in God, you're trying to find the truth. The main thing you got to figure out first is, if I engage with this person, is the goal to find the truth, or is it to prove I'm right?
Yeah.
Because 99% of the debates I've been in with Protestants, it's all been like semantics.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. 'Cause you're like, okay, we didn't define our terms correctly, or you used the same word a different way, like worship.
Yeah. That's the one that like it's like the few little things that still kind of like get me is like the insistence of prayer, you know, like and not even like prayer to the saints and that kind of stuff. But I think that's easy. It's, you can argue that from scripture and they really have no response. But it's the whole thing like you should never do a recited prayer. Like, I've had problems say like you shouldn't recite prayers. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I just little things like that is so oddly dumb that I'm kind of like I'm gonna feel stupid having to explain this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. What real prayer is whenever you ramble for 45 minutes. Dear Lord Jesus, dear Lord Jesus, dear Lord Jesus. I mean, that's always the.
I always hear the Holy Father. I'm like, you mean the Pope? And the other one is like lately the thing with me is that they all want to hold hands and pray. I'm like, I had to slip my hand out, make a sign across, and slip it back in. They kind of just stare at me, and I'm like, just let me do it.
I'm glad that they did away with the hand holding during the Our Father for most parishes.
Mm. Let me think. I can't lose this game. I can't. It's just pawns. I have to do better.
I had to tell my boys good night. Hey, Josh. Dear sweet 8 pound, 6 ounce baby Jesus.
That is still a great movie. Lucky Bobby.
Oh, Caleb, if I beat you like this.
I know.
Where do I put that piece? I don't know. Let's just keep marching. Oh. I remember we used to, our babysitters growing up were Presbyterian, I believe. And they take us over for, oh shit, good move. They take us over for their Wednesday nights, which was supper. They had supper on Wednesday nights. But before supper started, they had a prayer service. But it wasn't really a prayer service. It was just 45 minutes of different people who felt called to standing up to pray. And they prayed the entire time. Yeah, he's black. Caleb's the black pieces.
Yes,
I'm going to win. He's going to draw. That's what is going to happen. It's going to be an exciting draw. But it was, I was just like, this is not getting anybody closer to God. Because even then, I was like, 6 years old or something. And I was just thinking, this is not what prayer is supposed to look like. That to me is more of the don't be like the Pharisees babbling because of your long prayers. Or
that was the wrong one. Dang it. Just offered that piece up for no reason. Yeah, not I feel you. There's a I don't like going to my my parents' church anymore because there's just too many little things that happen. I'm just like I don't like this.
Yeah,
it feels like a motivational speech.
it's kind of like how back when the Christians, well, a different time when the Christians weren't the dominant part of society, and they had pagan gods they were worshiping, and the celebrations of these pagan gods. Shit. Okay. How do I force a stalemate? Then it had to have been uncomfortable for them to be going to the events, because they had different rules for, like, you can show up so you don't get beheaded, but you can't participate and all that jazz. And you're just like, this is all wrong.
Yeah.
Now, after saying that out loud, I'm like, it's a lot. Thank goodness we have Protestants. That's the dominant culture here in the South, instead of pagans or whatever's in the rest of the United States. A lot of pressure on you to not fuck this up, Caleb.
I know.
Look at me just collecting pieces like it's my job. All right, can Caleb win with 2 queens, 2 rooks, 3 pawns? We will see. Oh, now he's got me running. Now he's got me running. I feel the stalemate coming. I feel it in my bones. You can really tell that Caleb's about to shut down the podcast based on the quality of the stream he's got going on right now. We call it phoning it in. Where can I move? Okay. Way to go, Caleb.
That was still way too hard considering how few pieces I had. I gotta get better with this.
Oh, God.
Oh, hey, we got 2 people listening. Hey, guys, if anyone listening, this is a Q&A episode. If you got any questions, ask them to the chat. Feel free to...
Otherwise, we just vibing. Playing some chess.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
All right. Well, that was... I won, but it's like, would I really? Is that much of a handicap?
Okay, you need your handicap.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I'll tell you this. Kalo brought this to me when he was over at my house for the in-person recording. Gabriella. It's some kind of Brazilian alcohol. Tastes like bubble gum. It's very nice, but I'm trying to save it because I can't get down to States. So I'm trying to save it. Hold up, the group chat's debating in it. Were you in chat earlier for the big Discord debate on Michaela Peterson or Abby Shapiro?
Michaela Peterson or Abby Shapiro, as in like what, looks or tolerance to listen to?
Oh, all horses?
I don't have a horse in that race. But as you can see, I have 5 in this one.
This is not gonna go well.
I think I have too many nights. I've enjoyed us being on Discord, but I do miss a lot more.
Yeah, once same with same. Like I'm in the Discord often, but with so many different chats, you know, so many different channels. It's kind of just like I'm not checking the audio file one or whatever it's called. But as soon as you guys get into instant conversation there, I'm like, I missed that.
Yeah, I don't mind that part just because I'm like, well, I can go look at the stuff I want to look at and not the other stuff. Especially the big brain stuff. I sometimes like reading it, but I don't read any philosophers, nor care to learn about the philosophers. So, yeah.
Right now, we've been in a big discussion argumentative conversation on time. It's been kind of
what's the consensus been at?
There's no consensus right now.
What are the arguments? Who is taking the stance of time is fake and gay?
Grant.
Good.
Yeah, his view is his view is basically time. The past no longer exists, so and the future is pure potential. So all that exists is the ever present now, and the present is always fleeting. So, and the time is this kind of perception. It's related to perception. It's not real. Of course, I kind of ask him like, how does that square away with the Eucharist being in the past, and what is it? Is the sort of the priest is doing basically a time travel miracle every time the Eucharist happens. I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Then how does that also work with God's foreknowledge? There's different ways of that.
Yeah. I don't think time is fake. I do think I don't know. I don't know what I think about time. I don't think it's fake though, because Jesus in the Eucharist is ever present. Like it's not a re-sacrifice at that particular mass. It's the same one, which I think is cool.
Me too. I think that points to like what's called B theory of time, which is all of time is happening at once. The past is the past. The past is present then. The present is the present now. The future is the present in the future. And so all of time is happening at once. We just exist in the moment that we are in. And that would explain, why from perception, only the present is what it is. But to God, in his divine gaze, is present in the past, present, and the future, because he is present to all of existence. And so I think that explains his foreknowledge. It's not like he sees the future, thus we have no free will. He is simply present in every moment of time, past, present, and future. Simultaneously. And so that's my kind of like perceptionist view of time. But try to talk to Grant about anything related to time and use any word at all. He's like, that's not what that means, because it's not real. I'm like, okay, Grant, I get it. The future doesn't exist. Let me just, what the fuck I'm trying to say. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. I gotta put two U's in the future for you to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so it's been a hassle. That was not the piece I wanted to move, but okay.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Josh, I don't accept that argument, but I don't know why I don't accept the argument of if God is reality and God is timeless, then time ain't real.
Yeah.
I don't know why I disagree with you yet. I'll figure it out as we go along.
So
but I disagree with you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think time is fake. I think time is just all of it is at once, but only from our present perception is like time doesn't exist. Only moments exist. Because it's an actual thing there, like reality. Time, like if the entire universe was empty and there was nothing there but this, a vacuum, then time wouldn't be a thing, because it would just be no perception correlated to time. Time is an arbitrary description of events. And so my thing is that I'm trying to mix, both views of time. Say, well, we have one view, God has a different view based on his divine gaze, and it's like a divine attribute. It's. I found a few articles on it, but then I couldn't read it. And it's like,
in that one, though, I mean, that would also mean that God understands time, which is obviously true. God understands time in a more pure sense than we do. Because God would be timeless. It doesn't mean time doesn't exist.
It's time is such a frustrating.
Yeah.
Where should I move? I'm gonna go here. Yeah, no, it's like I think the present is, and like it's like again, it gets into different ontological structures where it's like, is it now ontological dualism, which is of the time? Which again, it gets like Aquinas over his many years of writing had like 3 different views of time he expressed in 3 different ways, and so
Yeah.
it's not like you can just go to Aquinas for a quick answer. And so that's like the most frustrating part of it currently. So I'm. No, so I got a few books coming on time that I'm gonna read because this is I've latched on and I won't be able to stop reading until I have an answer that I think actually makes sense. And so that'll be my next project. Attempting to I would never write anything on it because I refuse to write on time. I just want to understand it enough that I can have a conversation about it. Oh, my computer's lagging out so much right now.
Well, if you discern priesthood, then you can always join the Dominicans and spend your entire time studying and reading and learning.
That would be great, but
or go reform the Jesuits with other youngins.
The Jesuits are all pretty cool. I mean, Father Culbertson is awesome, but he was like I think he was like the last cool Jesuit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Pope Francis was Pope Francis a Jesuit?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to count him as cool. I like Pope Francis.
I don't love Pope Francis.
Aesthetically speaking, I like Pope Francis. How's that?
Huh?
Aesthetically speaking, I think he looks.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he has the look of what I want a pope to look like.
He definitely does have that. I'm more Dominican minded than Jesuit minded, even at the best. So that's always going to rub me the wrong way, just having a pope be a Jesuit.
That's Peter Kreeft's defense. Every time someone brings up the Pope, he's like, he's a Jesuit. What do you want?
Yeah, he is exactly what he should be.
Yes. You see his Hulu documentary coming out?
Which documentary?
It's a Hulu documentary where it's the Pope coming out. Where the Pope sits down with lesbians, gays, and non-binaries, and they ask him questions about the church's teaching on things.
How edited do you think that thing will be?
I would honestly be amazed if the Vatican would approve that without having final say on editing.
Yeah, I'd also be amazed if those types of people abided by what the Vatican wishes.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna watch it. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the questions they asked him, I'm like, yeah, that's a not a good question, but it's a fair question based on what they believe, and I think the Pope could give a good answer. Honestly, the person I want there is Bishop Barron. You know, that's the person I want there to make this conversation and focus it. But I don't think that would ever happen. Did you see that photo? With apparently some Daily Wire thing where it's a photo of Jonathan Pazzo, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Spencer Craven, and Bishop Barron all sitting on like some giant cobblestone steps for some big.
I have seen that. That's an awesome photo.
I love how everyone's all serious and focused, and then Bishop Barron's just smiling. It's like that's what truth does. Makes you happy.
He's like, I'm gonna go convert some non-Christians.
I made a meme in the Discord about it. I honestly, Spencer Craven, for being as quissy as he is really good on he's an Oxford trained English major, so it's focused on Greek history and literature. You know, he's very
Which
interesting.
one?
Spencer Craven. He's the big bearded guy in the photo.
I don't know Spencer Craven.
He's Andrew Craven's son.
Oh, I was wondering if it was related.
He's also gay in a gay relationship with a man.
Yeah, that makes sense then on Claven's style of non-Christian Christianity.
Yes.
It's just like, I'm a Christian. I just don't abide by Christian teaching or doctrine.
Yeah,
God could be a lizard monster. I don't know. I'm like, okay,
very
we'll have a
Anglican.
nap, old man.
Very Anglican.
It's very Anglican.
Um,
Man, there's some beautiful Anglican churches that are in my town, because it apparently used to be like the head of the Anglican church in the United States was in our little town. I don't know why. But I'm like, man, it would be great if we could get some ordinariates of the Chair of St. Peter, the Anglican Catholic convert churches, and take these churches over and make them our own.
Yeah, that would be great. But I think it's going to be interesting because Spencer Barron references novels a lot. He's a big Dostoevsky guy, references Dante a lot, references Homer. And Spencer Clavin is just does that, you know. So I think they could have a cool conversation. But Spencer Barron is great about, how do I put this? I've never seen him really let like a bad point or a bad saying or something that's wrong stand, but he always responds to it in the most like kind and generous way where you don't always know he's disagreeing. You know, like it's beautiful. And he just straight up says things where it's like, I remember his interview with like Dave Rubin, where he was just like, yeah, obviously we have this teaching, but no, we're not going to, you know, he's going to move on from that to get to something else they can actually engage on. And so I think him and Spencer Clavin will have a really cool conversation about about Dante. It's going to be very neat. Mm-hmm. And I could see him sneaking in some like sexual ethics something to the conversation that Clavin wouldn't realize. So that's going to be interesting.
For me, it's weird.
Yes, gay stuff is weird.
Well, it's weird that that's part of conservative TV. And just like Dave Rubin is the weirdest like person on the team, on Team Conservative.
He is weird.
Ansett, I'm playing the Evans Gambit right now, and
quickly go to Google.
The Evans Gambit, and I have been playing just basically the Italian in general is what I like to play. I'm very amateur at this game, so don't take my word for it. But
I'm more amateur because I don't know what anything is besides the Queen's Gambit because of that Netflix show. One of my friends I went to college with, she wrote a book. Shoot, what was the name of that book? Let me see the name of that book. But she wrote a book that was kind of riding the coattails of the Queen's Gambit. Not intentionally. She had written the book before the Queen's Gambit got all big. But it's similar to like that Queen's Gambit story. It's called The Last Checkmate. In the horrors of Auschwitz, a young woman plays for her life, and she sneaks Maximilian Kolbe in there. So there's like a whole scene in the book where the girl's talking to Maximilian Kolbe, and it's pretty awesome. I didn't know who that guy was until my friend told me he was his patron saint. You know, and I was like, oh, this guy sounds pretty awesome.
He's awesome. He's one of my favorite saints. I didn't know much about him until I was like, hey, there's a Saint Kolbe. I need to know about that.
These horses, man. You took all my characters. You took all the characters. You took all the pieces that I'm good with, and now I'm left with horses.
I'm perfect. I still am down 8 points of material. This will probably be a stalemate. Who was your patron saint?
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's see. At this point, I think it's going to become the patron saint of converts. It's almost every convert I know has picked him.
Has picked who?
St. Thomas Aquinas. Yeah. He's awesome. But everyone knows it. No, honestly, I didn't know any other saints really. I knew like I knew like the apostles, and I knew like a few, but that was so when I came time to pick one, I was just like, well, I guess it was Aquinas. But looking back, I'm like, we're in the mind of going with Bonaventure.
Bonaventure is very underrated in the
Yes, he is.
Saints.
Yeah, I love him. The more I read Bonaventure, the more I'm just like, yep, this is really good stuff. Bonaventure wrote a Summa, where in the same like a style of Aquinas, with the question and answers kind of thing, but no one talks about it. It's I found a PDF of it online. I read some of it. It's very good.
I don't know Don Bosco. I know John Bosco, and I'm wondering if they're the same people. I liked so John Bosco. I believe I forgot which order he was in, but he was a friar, I believe, who had an orphanage, and he just has a lot of good stuff on like disciplining children and how you should go about disciplining them, but also keeping them in the faith and stuff like that. That's just stood out to me. I got a couple of his quotes taped to my bathroom mirror. That one of them is, it's easier to discipline. I'm not going to butcher the quote, but it's basically like, calm your anger. They see God in you. You need to show them God when you're disciplining them.
That was a really stupid move on my part.
Them, but
it's a really stupid move on my part.
I'm upgrading my forecast to checkmate. Actually, I don't know if you can checkmate with 2 knights.
I'm just going to do it anyway. Anyone who's just joining in now, I started with a 4 so many pieces. He started with a queen and 5 horses, 5 knights?
5 knights.
Yeah, and I've been systematically just wiped out. Oh
yeah, you can't checkmate with 2 knights.
Okay.
So
well,
which is basically a win for me.
Yeah, basically a win. Okay, what time is it? 9:07. We're going for an hour. We didn't really get into. I'm gonna go through these chat questions. See if we got any kind of questions.
What'd you say?
Before playing another game, before we play another game, let me go through these chats real quick and see if we got any questions.
Okay.
Let's see. It's Caleb Black. Blah blah blah. Howdy slash. Sap. What's that? Time is fake and gay. If God is reality and God is timeless and time ain't real. We operate with an understanding of time based on a corporeal form, but that doesn't mean reality everywhere. I also don't care. I never think about it to study it. Dr. If you're still watching, on this point, we operate with an understanding of time based upon our corporeal forms, but they don't mean that. But that doesn't mean it's reality everywhere. I also don't care enough to think about this deeply or study it. Yeah.
That's kind of me.
Yeah. The time is, it's I don't know why, but like I used to be a big defender of the Kalam cosmological argument, and a lot of that kind of ended up, because it always has to do with, returning to the very first event. So for the argument to work, time has to have a starting point. And so it always gets into like series of time, like B series and A series of time. But then I started reading into that to defend the argument. And now I don't even believe the argument's a good argument, really. But the more because of that, I got into reading about time and God's connection to time, how does prayers work with time, and God's foreknowledge in time, and the Eucharist in time. And I'm like, okay, there's enough related with temporal events that I feel like it could be a theology of time. And so I'm trying to better understand God's relationship and that kind of stuff with time. And that's been a pain because time is frustratingly it's frustrating, and it's difficult to ask questions because the moment you say the future, some guy just goes, Grant, this goes, the future doesn't exist. I'm like, I know that, but I'm asking about a hypothetical. And he goes, well, by definition, mechanics. I'm like, I know, but I'm asking about the future doesn't exist. How does God know the future? And you just, it's like, I get what you're saying, but can you just let me ask the question? Oh, really? Really?
I've been thinking about asking Grant to do a podcast because I am so analytical and grew up Protestant culture. So the beauty part of the faith, I'm trying to learn to appreciate it more, but I just don't at this point. And Grant, like that is something he is great at.
He is.
In understanding.
Grant's awesome. I love talking to that guy.
Kicker is because he and I play chess all the time. I said, when do you get off? When do you get off where we could actually sit down and play some games? And he said 9:30 your time. I was like, well, that stinks.
Alaskan time zones. Like, trying to record with him there's a few people who are sad, but I want to record with him, but the time zone just make it frustrating. Like I keep trying to get Haz on because he's in England. The times just never want to work out.
Well, his time should work out considering he sleeps from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I guess.
You would think so, but isn't like recorded in the middle of the night when his parents might wake up or something.
Oh, gotcha.
I get it, but at the same time, it's like he was gonna come on for a tier list episode, but no one can get a hold of him.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Let me think. I don't know what I was thinking. Was that man?
Well, you got one of my palms. Josh, are you coming into the church this vigil? If you're still there. I love the Easter Vigil. I haven't been able to go since my wife came into the church, just because we've had kids. But I love that mass. I love all the readings that go with it. I like doing having the fire outside. We need more candlelight masses.
We do. I'm trying to talk, but I can't talk. I can't play chess.
Gotta have my advantage somehow. Let's go right here. Ooh. Okay. Here. Hmm. Hmm. Good move. I'm with you, Mrs. Timbit. That my sleep schedule recently has been 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., which has been great. But that is going to make the Easter Vigil very difficult.
Mrs. Timbit, I believe I could be wrong, but I remember correctly. Yeah, I've had a few too much to remember this correctly, but I'm 98% sure that's someone in the Discord's wife. 98%.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Okay.
Ironcast's. I'm sorry if I spoke
Yeah,
out
I
of turn,
think
Miss
I think
Ironcast.
that's right.
Okay.
I've been talking to Mr. Ironcast to try to find a time where we can get our families together with Mrs. Timbit.
Oh, that's awesome. That guy's great.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Nice.
Yeah, when I first saw Austin Thomas, he was the first guy tagged. I'm like, you want to join? I'm glad he did. It's been
He's
a
good
lot of
people.
fun.
It was I didn't think anything of it because I went to have no. I knew he was gonna say he saw it. Way to go, Caleb.
Okay, that just, zero mistakes, zero blunders, zero missed wins. So that's something.
Look
In a
at
game when
that.
I had all the disadvantages. Okay.
Way to go, Caleb.
Well, we've gone for an hour and 18 minutes. Had some fun. I won one game.
Yeah, leave on the high note. You got the win.
I got to win against the biggest handicap I've ever seen in CES.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So fun.
Well, I hope this was entertaining to the viewer,
I'm sure it was. It was fun.
Josh. But I enjoyed it.
Yes, well,
Now you got to train. You got to get good. Every
good.
seminary I've ever walked in, Caleb, has a chessboard in the library. So
I gotta get good. I'll get some more. I'll get some audio. I'll go to the library and pick up books on this. I'm going old school with it.
Get on YouTube. That's the best because you get people to actually explain why are these moves doing this.
YouTube. Okay. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole of chess podcasting and chess education and come back. I guess I am the new Magnus Carlsen. Yes.
Yeah.
Devote all my time to it.
There's also you should study some openings. Study the Ruy Lopez opening because Ruy Lopez was actually a Catholic priest. His father Ruy Lopez. They don't give him the credit for it, but
anyway. I've been doing some reading on different saints. I knew Nacho Libre is based on a true story. Do you know that?
I've heard that. I've not seen Nacho Libre though, so I don't know.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It's not a great Catholic movie, but it's a great movie. With good, it's the Franciscans were not a fan of it. How lightly he takes his vows, kind of saying. But in the defense of the movie, he was an orphan raised by Franciscans, and so it kind of just fell into it. And so, but I think that's like a lesson in the movie is he's kind of fell into it, but he has to find how he can best serve the community. There's lessons in there that are good, and it's funny. But it's based on an actual true story of a priest. I cannot remember his. I want to get his name. Let me look it up real quick. Real Not So Libre. Father Fray Tomata. I can't pronounce Mexican names for the life of me. Anyway, this guy was a badass. He apparently was before he became a priest and became religious. He was in multiple street fights, got stabbed at least 7 times, was shot, walked it off, bunch of street fights, and eventually he got accused of murdering a friend of his because he was found drunk at the crime scene. And so he went to church and just kind of prayed about it. And when he found out he was innocent, he was like, "Well, I guess there's something to this." And so he converted and ended up becoming a priest. But the first time he went to seminary in Mexico, he got kicked out because he punched another guy in the face. So he had to go to Europe and try again.
Good.
Finally, when he came back to Mexico, he went to the first area and he tried to talk to some drug addicts and he tried to fight them. So he fought them off and he fought like 5 guys at once.
How big was this dude?
He's a big guy. Let me if I can find a picture of him. I'll see a photo. He's old now, but he's a. Let's see if I can find one of him wrestling. Okay, he's the guy on the left in the photo. Let me see on the screen. He's this guy.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's
big old dude.
He's a big dude. Yeah, he's anyway, so apparently he started wrestling with a mask on and had the whole persona of being the masked priest in the wrestling ring. Like his wrestling name involved being a flyer. And he wrestled for 23 years in secret before people figured it out and just raised money for the orphanage. And then he was only making like $10 a fight. But when the bishop found him asking to stop, he's like, "I'll stop on the condition you guys match what I was making to help support the orphanage." And the bishop was like, assumed he made more money than $10 a fight. I was like, "We can't afford that, so just keep doing it."
That's awesome.
And so he just wrestled for 23 years and played into it to gain more money for the orphanage. Eventually, when he retired, he passed on the mantle of the wrestling name to an orphan that he'd raised and trained how to fight to go into wrestling to continue with his name and everything.
That's awesome.
Like, and if they made an actual movie, not to Libre Con, but an actual biopic of this guy, it'd be insane.
Wow.
Yeah, so many cool priests, you know.
Yeah, being Catholic's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Anyway, so what do you plugs? We'll plug away, and we'll close it out.
As you look to end your time with Austrotomism, come join me over at the Pius the Pig and the podcast. We are trying to do at least once every 2 to 3 weeks. We're not your content machine.
It's a very good podcast. I enjoy it. It's like I recommended it to several people I know who have like converted but have still going through RCIA and haven't really fully converted. You know, they've gone to RCIA but they're still waiting to be confirmed.
Yeah.
And they want something to kind of listen to on the go to help them learn the basics in an easy way. And I'm like, hey, I have to pick up the podcast. Check that one out.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea because it is for cradle Catholics too. You might get the basic, like the good stuff, the meat during CCD or RCIA, but there's so much to like living out the faith. Like, why do we even have a liturgical calendar? Why is the priest wearing purple this week? What are we doing here? That just nobody teaches you because it's not going to save or break your soul, but it is something that's going to improve, nourish you. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing. We did like a mailbag questions in our last episode, and our next episode is going to be our first with a guest. We're going to talk about seminarian life, actually. It's a seminarian's going to tell us what seminarian life is like and what the process is to become a priest and all that jazz. So
I would definitely tune in for that one.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work out. It's going to be during Holy Week because he's going to be in town because all the seminarians have jobs to do during Holy Week. So if he can get away from his busy schedule, we plan on doing that. Probably drop on Holy Thursday.
Fantastic. I can't wait. Well, everyone, thanks for listening to the random live stream we put off. 3 more episodes coming out. I got one with L.B. Muniz on the 5 dialogues of Plato. We're going to discuss the historical significance of Plato, of Socrates, given that, he wasn't just some random old guy who was, leading the useless story. He was a veteran war hero with medals. And so his criticisms of the government kind of bore more weight with people. And that's not talked about enough, so we're going to cover that in detail. I had another one. Oh, I'm having at Paleo GOP Brendan Harris to come on. We're going to talk about the importance and meaning of civil duty. The right of the civil duty of a man in the society. So that's
Is he
interesting.
Catholic?
He is a Mennonite, but there's no churches near him that are good Mennonites. So he goes to a Catholic church just to go to church on Sunday, but he doesn't. He likes the aesthetic, and he goes on Sunday, and he believes a lot of the same stuff, but not all the same stuff. And so he's just going because it's the only church nearby that's not super liberal.
Okay, so he's like gonna be Catholic. He just doesn't know it yet. It's probably one of those deals.
I'm working on it.
There's
some conversation.
I had lunch at a Mennonite bakery earlier today, and man, it is good. Good.
Mennonites, they're cool people. And then April 21st will be the 24-hour live stream. So make sure you all subscribe and tune in for that, so you can watch me suffer for 24 hours. And I'll be playing. I'm gonna get some guys together. We're gonna hopefully play a game of Civilization. So that'll be fun.
That should be a Lenten penance. You should have done that during Lent.
Yeah, I want to do it after
you.
Easter. Thank you. I want to do it after Easter because I can get everyone who's giving up the internet for Easter could join in.
Yeah. I'll probably join you. I might even bring my co-host Davis with me, and
that'd be fun.
We'll have a good old time. Yeah,
it'll be a lot of fun. Like Joss, you popped in while I was ending the stream. I'm sorry. Bye.
Bye.
That's